Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the last Cloudia video. My name is DK, and today we've been going over the newest unit that we'll be dropping during the 3.5 anniversary. We do have Vayne here. As you can see, for some reason I couldn't get this loaded on YouTube. Maybe they haven't uploaded the video yet, but I went onto their Twitter and it was already here. He will be a single wield earth unit. As you can see here, it kind of tells you what he is already. It says the earth unit is automatically switched between offensive and defensive modes, which is really interesting. And we kind of, me, Jawline, and a couple others had a talk about him. And at first, reading his kit is a little awkward, but we went ahead and kind of, like, we don't know the chances of a lot of the stuff, but we kind of justified of what he's going to be. As you can see, it says Human Buster makes him a potent against human types, which means that this points into an arena unit. He will be pretty decent in PvE as well. We'll dive into his kit more. I kind of just skimmed through it, but ideally that's what I feel like they were focusing with this guy. So we'll go ahead and dive into the video. We're gonna load this guy up and we'll check it out ourselves. Vayne. So we're hitting all enemies here. Okay, that's pretty rad. Yeah, I do like his S4. That's really clean. All right, so before we dive into his kit here, we're gonna go ahead and check out the skill count. So judging by this is gonna be based on this. We don't know a lot about him, but you kind of can see here, this is Kyle's story inside of Arc 2. So he's probably gonna be some kind of like emperor of this town or something like that, the sage of this town. But yeah, so I guess we'll find out more about him in the story and what he's about. But let's go ahead and dive into what his hit count's gonna be. So he's going to be single wield, so you're not going to be using him for dual wield really. And he talks a lot. So 7 hits on his S1, 13 hits on his S2, which is not bad on single wield. 13 hits, and then we do have 19 hits on his S3. As you can see here, if we do use him in arena, this whole back row is getting hit, so he could pose a pretty big problem when it comes to this back row. Especially if you're using, what is it, spell render. I think we're all lined up back here. Actually, really any of them. Oh no, there's a couple that formations that send the front, but he definitely looks like he's gonna be knocking them out. S2 as range as well. As you can see, the distance right here is pretty big. So, at the end of the day, the distance right here on his S1 has a pretty decent gap. Right here, he is a little close to this guy, but we don't know the range fully. But the AoE is very large. So again, and then S3, like I said, that back row just gets annihilated. He is gonna have Human Slayer, so Human Buster, sorry. So that's gonna be pretty nasty. A lot of hits on here. Let's see. 42 hits on the S4. It's pretty wild. All right, so going over his traits real quick, we do have Flux Desert Ram. Now, this is a little odd. I was telling the guys, I feel like wish they put 2 on 1 and 1 on 2 because it kind of counteracts with each other, but in a weird way. So when equipped with only 1 weapon and using skills, give unit a sand weapon buff. Now, what the sand weapon buff does is that it does give the unit STR 100%, which is very nice. Remove when sand wall buff is active. And of course, that's why I'm saying it shifts down here on the sand wall buff. But whenever the sand weapon buff is active, we do get an extra 30%, 60% to earth physical damage and a damage cap of 25k, which is very, very nice. Moving on to his trait 2, Flux Desert Castle Wall. At battle start / when revived, give the unit a sand wall buff. So at the start of battle, and this is why I said it should have been up here so that it doesn't confuse players. So we'll kind of get that out of the way. So at battle start, you are going to get a sand wall buff. This is going to give you 100% to defense. Remove when given the sand weapon buff. So at the start of battle, you will get the sand wall buff, which gives you that defense of 100%. When you start attacking, you will get a STR plus 100%, earth physical plus 60%, and a damage cap plus 25k. But there is a little gimmick here. During the sand wall buff, physical damage taken is minus 30%. During the sand weapon buff, when taking physical attacks / specials, chance for unit to get the sand wall buff. So when taking damage, you could lose the sand weapon buff. So you're going to be kind of altering. Now, the one thing we were kind of talking about is if you're in mid attack, will it affect the damage cap? We don't know until the testing is there, but I want to say it's not. Once the attack has been initiated, it will complete as a total and the damage cap will stay the same. Of course, I could be completely wrong on that as we don't have the unit in hand yet. But this is where he kind of plays. It's actually really interesting once you start to think about it in arena. When he starts getting attacking, his defense increases. When he starts attacking, his damage cap increases. Really interesting on the route they went with this unit. I do like the gimmick. It's just really odd. Art, judging by the art, because we're going to get into the art here in a second, it looks really good, straight out of Dynasty Warriors of some type. You know, I really, it's interesting. A lot of us thought it was going to be a bow user. I personally thought it was going to be hand-to-hand combat. I feel like we might have all been wrong because he does a lot of AoE distance, you know, stuff like that, but more or less relies on the earth for attacking, which is really unique in my opinion. We're so used to, you know, these attacks having like some kind of sword or some kind of bow or like fire attack. This guy uses the earth, which is really nice because he's an earth unit, so it just kind of works really well with him. Moving on to his skills. Now, just before we jump into the skills, I want to say here, the physical attack specialist chance for the unit to get sandwall. We don't know what that chance is, but there is something that Odin did point out, and we were talking about this. So right here, we have skill 1, Desert Fang, frontal long range. Skill 2, medium area, like you kind of showed. So that he was a little close to that ant. So I feel like it is pretty decent. Followed by a targeted mid-range wide area combo attack. So that's really cool. It has kind of like 2 in there. Skill 3, Dragonclad. We have mid-range wide area combo attack. So it looks like he might have to run up a little bit, which could be problematic in arena, but I don't think it'd be that much of a big deal. Special Hell Dust Cage. We have powerful Earth Ombo attack to all enemies. Very nice to see all enemies being attacked. He talks a lot. Yeah, he talks a lot. Charisma, I am not. This charisma sucks. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. All allies physical plus 10%. Physical damage taking minus 10. Only when unit is live. There's several other charismas that are just better than this. I wouldn't really recommend this. Especially if you're using arena, I'd probably just take it off so he doesn't activate it. Of course, if this is the only charisma you have, then hell, why not? Go ahead and let him activate it. For the second part, we do have Sand Castle Wall. Gives Sand Wall buff, gives unit defense 100%. So basically, you can cast the Sand Wall, which brought up something as well. Like, what are the chances of everything kind of activating? Is it 80%, 95%? Is it lower, 20%? We don't know the percentage yet. So the fact that you can cast it might be telling us, you know, something. We just don't know yet. But you can cast the wall to give yourself that 100% defense if you really, really need it. I feel like it more benefits PvE, where you have more control and time, where PvP, everything happens really quickly. If you play PvP, you know that matches can end in seconds. So it really just depends on how you set up the unit. Next, we have Sovereign Vesture? I might have said that wrong. Weapon and armor equipped. Skill cap plus 5k. Special damage plus 10k. SET recovery speed 10%. I do like this one. He's a single wield. You know, you're using armor, which tells us that maybe his paid equipment is going to be some kind of armor and an accessory. So this SET recovery speed, I would kind of like that to be maybe in seconds and not in percentages. So, you know, the percentage is fine. Sandstorm Gale, Sand Weapon buff active. So basically, draw less enemy attention, and then we have Sand Wall buff active, draw more attention. So it is kind of interesting to see that when he's attacking, you draw less. When he's actually getting hit, he draws more attention because when he takes physical attacks, he has a chance to activate the Sand Wall buff. So essentially he could get overwhelmed at some point. So I don't know. This is interesting to see how this would work in arena. Like I said, arena works really. Everything kind of happens really quickly. So I don't know how effective that's going to be until we actually test it. Of course, arena is a lot of testing, and anybody who plays arena knows that. But so for PVE, he's gonna be a pretty decent unit, nothing broken or anything like that. We have quick sand explosion for the next. We have sand weapon buff active when physically attacking, damage to guarding enemies 100%, and defense minus 20 and deal damage. So this is actually really good. We do have a lot of guarding in arena. This is gonna help out greatly, especially with several other things that you can use to pierce the guarding. And then enemy defense minus 20 and deal damage. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. Like I said, he just leans more and more towards the PvE unit. So if you are lacking something like this, I feel like he's gonna be pretty decent. I think the testing is gonna be the most fun part for him. But yeah, it's mostly what I'm seeing here. The next thing we have is quick sand surge, sand wall buff active, chance to resist flinch from physical attacks. We don't know what that chance is. It could be really high, which could make him really broken in arena. And very problematic. And when the unit is airborne, physical and special damage taken is minus 40. So again, he could be really tanky. Of course, stacking all other percentages for defense and physical attack damage taken also plays a factor. So it just, it really just, he could be an issue. If you don't play arena, then I don't see any reason why you would need this unit unless you just kind of find him intriguing and you want to pull for something new. Then hell yeah, go for it, right? The next thing we do is a sand puppet. When HP hits 0, auto revive and restore half HP once per wave. When revived, give unit protection. This is really nice. We don't really have too many of these auto revives. We have a lot of like the awakens and stuff like that. He does come with a downward spirit down there, so that's going to be like his awakened substitute. This is pretty decent that it gives you, usually when you revive an arena, you get your half health, and it could be one shotted immediately, because sometimes you don't revive with buffs. On this one, you will revive with the protection buff. Will give you 20%, which is very nice. So yeah, it's just a little fail safe a little bit there. So pretty cool how they did that. Next, we have Human Buster. This is one of the most sought after skills that we would like to see in ARCs, but we're not probably going to. We just got Human Killer, which is somewhat in the right direction, but we're still waiting for that Human Slayer, which, like I said, we probably will not get. So units like this is what they're going to strive at. Human Buster gives physical, special, and counter, and anti-human type, soldier, knight, sniper, sorcerer type effect. So basically, counter's not really much of a big deal here. We only go after the physical and special part of this until counter becomes relevant. So looking good so far. I just see a lot of arena into this kit. So for those who wanted to get into arena and you don't have arena units, he's going to be great. Again, moving down to the skills that are already included, we do have defense up max, heroism up 2, fighting spirit 5. He does come with crit 3, which is actually really interesting. If you wanted to build a pursuit build in, let's say, PvE, you could. Again, when you do crit 3, it saves a lot of SC, so building a crit setup is pretty easy. He also does come with some earth critical raises and stuff like that, so again, making that possible would be pretty neat. He comes with imaginary weapon, which honestly, it's been a while since I've seen that one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and look these up real quick while we're talking about them. So imaginary weapon it allows all types to be equipped. All equipped weapons gain 50% SCR, and all weapons equipped gain 50% INT. This was only on Sheeta, and that's why I probably kind of skipped. I don't really remember it too much. It was only on one unit. It's not on any arc. So it's really cool. So he gets a nice little SCR buff. Next thing we have is guard, heal guard, anti-type shields, which I believe is 10%. To anti-types. So again, just more defense. We have quick trigger, which is going to activate a random skill on his board. Skill charge 3, which is going to be his bread and butter, because as you can see, it hits that back row really well. So you would definitely want to get the S3 automatically. I feel like that could be a big problem. Auto haste, it's a big save. I'll take it. Earth high drive, which is 30% to physical, and I believe special, right? Earth Mega, we get an extra 2k, very similar to High Drive with the extra 2k cap. We have Earth Attack Raise 3, again, another 2k cap. Earth critical rays, very expensive. I'm glad we have it. The next thing we do have is stone enhance. Now, again, I know only one unit that has this, and that's Granatus. So I will have to look this up real quick for you guys because I don't really remember like exactly what it was. But for stone enhance, we do have 10% damage to for all earth attacks, plus 10% damage. Minus 15 to physical damage received. Now, if you guys don't know who Granatus is a very tanky guy, just built like a truck. He does get, some skills for that tank, so really cool. The next thing we do have is favorite sword, nice little 10k because it is single wield. Ultimate boost 3, 50% to special. As you see, the special has a lot of hits, so really cool. To see some max damage on that. I didn't see anything really with I don't think the cap is going to be super crazy, but it's still really cool. So you would only have to stack, like, if you wanted to go that route, ultimate boost 1 and 2, and it should help you cap really. The next thing we do have is Cloak of Majesty. Now this one I absolutely forgot what this guy is. Cloak of Majesty is minus 10% received from non-boss enemies, so that is going to be yeah, you're not really gonna need it. It's kind of, actually no, arena. What am I talking about? Arena again. This one was only on the arc Ganon, which is a general arc. I think it's Ganon, right? Let me see. Is it Ganon? Divine Sword. Yeah, Ganon. Only 2 units that have it are Roland and the new Shift Rimuru. Sand Step is actually really interesting. I do like Sand Step as it does increase the speed of the unit. I think by +1 on, yeah, +1 movement speed, 10% chance to evade physical hits. So really cool. Maglian Shield. Now, if you're having troubles with anybody like Lagerbos or Roland shooting stuff across the map in arena, Maglian Shield provide 30% reduction. So really nice. For the next one, we will have Stone Armor. Now, this one I believe is for lightning attacks. Now, for this one is at wave start, you grant a permanent minus 20% damage received from all thunder attacks, which this one was actually only on Granatus and the arc specifically for the Trials of Mana that happened this past year, or was it? Or I think it was last year. I can't remember. But this is going to be great for the new Lagrain Ray. He's a thunder unit, very terrifying in arena. So this will help him survive attacks from Ray if you're having issues with that. The next thing he does have is Focused Will. Now this one, I believe, let me see. This one is minus 50% duration to SCR defense, INT, and then the debuffs applied onto self. So really cool. Again, these are only on 2 specific units, Granados and Virgil. That was on the recent DMC5 collab. So really cool. Definitely helps. And Downable Spirit. Now this is just basically a version of Awaken. So when you take a lethal hit, you recover some HP, get some nice stats. So overall, unit is unique. I really, God, I mean, I don't want to say this is not a must pull, guys. I want to tell you that right now. It's not a must pull. If you're an arena player, I definitely think you should. It's be an interesting unit, and I think it's fun. But if you're just looking for that PvP aspect, a PvE aspect of the game, I really just don't see a reason to pursue this unit. But we're not done yet. We actually have something really interesting next. They did give us another UR arc, of course. During last anniversary, I don't think they did this. I don't think they've done 2 U arcs in any anniversary. So this is the first time we got a back-to-back UR. Next thing we have is Master of Sands UR. Arc trait. So this is actually a really interesting one. I do like it. I love the art. It could be a little generic and at most times, but you can see the person in the middle, the huge castle. It just looks kind of neat. Damage taken minus 10% when attack is thunder / non-attribute. Damage taken minus 20% more. So again, more Lagrain defense, more S-Balin defense in arena. Whenever taking damage, boost SCR defense max 25%, resets each wave. So as you can see, whenever Vayne is taking damage, his wall does activate, it gives him that defense buff. This will actually contribute to that as well. So really cool. We have also Earth attack damage plus 3k. This is our first Earth UR, so I was kind of hoping that we get a damage cap, and we did. So I will take that. There are several other arcs with damage cap that are a little bit higher. So especially with what's his name's Roland's UR arc. So I mean, this is more defensive arc. I can see why they did what they did. It kind of fits his profile more. For the arc skill, we do have powerful earth to all enemies, damage cap plus 15k, which is very mediocre in damage. Give all allies an earth attack damage plus 30% buff and a damage taken minus 20. The only person that's really going to benefit this is probably Vayne, or if you're using like Levi or Leona. You know, I doubt you're going to run an all earth team, so only one earth unit's going to benefit from that attack damage. But everybody will benefit from the minus 20% buff for damage taken. So again, just kind of a little bit of team support, nothing really crazy there. I'm more or less interested in what the arc looks like when it's activated, or the arc animation. Um, so for learnable skills, we do have shield force when special gauge is full, defense minus 30. Not the greatest thing, but absolutely not the worst. Very, if in niche situations, I could definitely see, excuse me, why you would use that. So it's cool to have. We have extra attack shield next, damage taken from extra attacks and second hit of dual wield types minus 30%. This is pretty nasty. Especially for arena, if you're running into a dual wield team, damage taken from extra attacks, which is going to be if they're running pursuit build. And then also we have a second hit of dual wield will be minus 30%. So that's pretty good. Oh, actually, no, it says damage from extra and second hit of dual wield. Okay, so yeah, this minus 30% on both. So we got pursuit and the second hit of dual wield will get minus 30. So, you know, beware dual wield users out there. And then you're fighting against this arc, or the unit with this arc. It could be not this arc specifically, but if you got this arc and you have the skill. I just want to know more or less how much this thing would cost. Maybe 10 SC, which is probably not bad for minus 30% from the second hit and then the extra pursuit. So, you know, interesting. The next thing we have is Boulder Sentry. Cut physical damage taken from based on how much unit MP is left, max minus 50%. Honestly, if you have the MP, hell, it works. 15%, I'll take it. I'm really curious. At the end of the day, what the curiosity really stands is that how much each one's going to cost. How much is extra attack going to cost me to get that 30%? How much is Boulder Sentry? That's really the big question out of all these, because these all just sound great defensive wise. I am starting to, you know, a lot of my videos so far have been a lot of teaching about defense and survivability. I do really enjoy building survivability. Just because I feel like we have so much STR percentages and physical damage percentages. Why not learn a different aspect of the game, right? Especially for newer players. Next, we have Earth Attack Raise 2. I honestly didn't even know we didn't have this yet. It's very expensive. Really, you know, between if you're going to use Earth Attack Raise or Earth High Drive, which is only on one specific arc from the Trials of Mana, you know, I honestly don't have that one. So if I had to use this for, like, let's say Granitus up in cap, I'd probably run it. So Earth attack damage plus 30%. It's good to have, honestly. And then we have Earth Drive and Defensive 4. So overall, all in all, great defensive arc. Not a must-have in any way. It's going to benefit you quite a bit in arena, especially against those dual wielders. So, you know, very interesting. I love this. Look at this. It's rising. Now, moving on to the AER. Now, this is actually pretty nasty. I do not like the way this looks. Straight out of like Monster Hunter of some sort. So you have Sandmaster, Armorous, Rarity 7, no attribute, physical attack damage taken minus 20, which is really nice for the armor. It'd be really cool if this got Godforged. Could become really busted, really. Imagine that becoming physical damage taken minus 50% if Godforged. You know, you never know. Stats look great, 450 HP, defense 310, M&D 142. Look at that nasty little +5 resistance to Thunder, Rip Ray, or Lag Rain. Status ailment resistance is Curse Resist. So yeah, huge win there. Not too shabby on that armor. Now for the unit, I think that's about it. Yeah, that's actually it. I did really enjoy this trailer. We kind of got a little glimpse of the new story that will be launching with the unit. Overall, my overall thoughts on this guy is that he's very interesting. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I don't think he's worth pulling if you're not an arena player. Again, even if you are an arena player, I don't know who you would swap this unit out with if you already have your designated team for this season. Of course, testing is going to be, you know, something that you'd want to do. But honestly, if I got him, I'd definitely want to test him out in arena just for the fun of it, because he does look really interesting. I would like to see like how tanky this man can be, especially with all the stuff we currently have already. So, he's looking good. Um, compared to Adele, when Adele came out with all these huge damage caps, and then we have this. I feel like that's the route they went. They wanted to build something for PvE, and then they wanted to build something for PvE to give us like kind of like, you know, push because they're kind of pushing more towards the arena right now. Updating it and stuff, which is really cool. I do like that they're doing that. But all in all, again, a great unit for PvE. I wouldn't do not spend your gems, guys. We don't if you're not gonna pursue the PvP side of the game. I wouldn't pursue this unit. Um, I would save my gems for what's coming up next. We potentially have another collab coming up soon. It's not guaranteed. It's just we're all just predicting it. But last year it was very similar. We had a collab right after the 3.5. So if you want to go ahead and save for that, what's coming up next, we also have the Christmas units. Expet's going to be returning, and a lot of people are looking for her as well. So just really think about what you want in this unit. If you're looking for a PvP or a PvE, that's when you really want to make your decision. Of course, that UR is pretty cool. I know a lot of people like the UR, so if you want to throw a couple gems at the UR, potentially get this crazy little guy, then go for it. But guys, that's all I have for you today. If you like today's content, please like and subscribe, as it helps the channel grow, and I do appreciate all your support out there. If you guys have any questions, please just throw in the comments below, and I will get back with you as soon as possible. You guys have a great night and be safe. Peace.